Shockwaves and Dynasties, a recap of the 2006-2007 NBA season. The Texas Hold'em and Desert Track meet. In the fall of 2006, the NBA was completely ruled by a regular season Cold War. The Dallas Mavericks were out to avenge a devastating collapse in the 2006 finals, while the Phoenix Suns looked to prove their high-octane offense was built for championship hardware. What followed was a historic regular season blitz where two Western Conference empires completely separated themselves from the rest of the basketball world, pacing a league that was rapidly accelerating. Dirk Nowitzki's 67-win revenge tour. Fueled by the heartbreak of losing the previous year's title, Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks went on a historic regular season rampage. After an 0-4 start, Dallas completely flipped a switch with winning streaks of 12, 13, and 17 games to finish with a towering 67-15 record. Dirk became the first European player in NBA history to win the regular season MVP award while joining the elite 50-40-90 club. The Mavericks looked utterly inevitable, playing with a cold, machine-like execution. The Suns' 17-game firestorm and Amar'e's return. Right on Dallas's heels was Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns, who turned the regular season into a nightly track meet. Unlike the year prior, where Amar'e Stoudemire missed almost the entire campaign due to microfracture knee surgery, a fully healthy Stoudemire returned to earn All-NBA first-team honors. Capitalizing on Nash's league-leading 11.6 assists per game, the 7 seconds or less offense reached its absolute peak, rattling off consecutive winning streaks of 15 and 17 games. Kobe's jersey swap and the 4-game 50-point avalanche. This was the exact season Kobe Bryant officially shed his number 8 jersey for the number 24, celebrating the rebrand with an unprecedented modern scoring exhibition. In March of 2007, Kobe went on a historical tear, dropping 65, 50, 60, and 50 points in 4 consecutive games. He became the first player since Wilt Chamberlain in 1962 to score 50-plus in 4 straight outings, single-handedly carrying a heavily limited Lakers roster into the postseason. The We Believe earthquake. As the playoffs approached, the 67-win Mavericks were heavily favored to cruise to the finals. Instead, they walked directly into a Golden State roaring buzzsaw in Northern California. Don Nelson's small ball sabotage. The Golden State Warriors snuck into the 8th seed on the final night of the regular season under coach Don Nelson. Nelson had spent years coaching Dirk in Dallas and knew every single mechanical vulnerability in the MVP's game. He implemented an ultra-small, chaotic lineup using hyper-athletic wings like Steven Jackson and Al Harrington to violently trap Dirk the moment he caught the ball, completely short-circuiting Dallas's half-court offense. The Oracle Arena gold out. What followed was the birth of the iconic We Believe movement. Oracle Arena became a deafening sea of matching gold t-shirts, creating an environment that completely unnerved the top-seeded Mavericks. Led by Baron Davis's explosive playmaking and a legendary poster dunk over Andre Kirilenko in the subsequent round, the Warriors dismantled the Mavericks in 6 games. Behind great plays from Jason Richardson, Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, Al Harrington, and others, the We Believe movement was in full effect. It was the first time an 8 seed defeated a 1 seed in a best-of-7 series, changing the playoff history forever. The melancholy MVP presentation. The ultimate basketball tragedy of the 06-07 season took place weeks after that first-round exit because voting occurred before the postseason. Dirk Nowitzki won the regular season MVP award, but he had to accept the trophy from Commissioner David Stern at an incredibly somber and awkward press conference after his team had already been eliminated. Dirk stood alone at the podium, a tragic icon holding the league's highest individual prize, while answering brutal questions about a historic collapse. The hip check and the Madison Square Garden brawl. While the West was defined by historic wins and major upsets, the regular season was also marred by intense volatility, massive trades, and structural adjustments. The MSG Brawl and Carmelo's 15-game ban. In December 2006, an ugly on-court fight erupted at Madison Square Garden between the Denver Nuggets and the New York Knicks. After a hard foul on J.R. Smith, a chaotic multiplayer melee broke out, culminating in Carmelo Anthony, the league's leading scorer at the time, punching Marty Collins in the face before backpedaling. The NBA handed out massive discipline, including a season-altering 15-game suspension for Anthony, which temporarily halted Denver's momentum. The Allen Iverson Denver mega trade. Looking to salvage their season and pair Melo with an elite partner, the Nuggets pulled off a blockbuster trade, acquiring superstar guard Allen Iverson from the Philadelphia 76ers. The trade ended Iverson's legendary 11-year run in Philly, creating a hyper-scoring Answer and Melo tandem in Denver. The duo brought immense star power to the Northwest Division, though trying to balance two dominant high-volume scorers on one floor proved to be a complex chemistry experiment. The synthetic microfiber ball blunder. The 2006-2007 season featured one of the strangest equipment errors in sports history: the introduction of a new microfiber synthetic basketball. Players openly rebelled, complaining that it caused friction burns on their skin and became dangerously slick when slicked with sweat. Shaquille O'Neal and Steve Nash led a public outcry so severe that Commissioner David Stern admitted the mistake and officially switched back to the traditional leather ball on January 1st, 2007. Robert Horry's sideline hip check. Late in Game 4, with Phoenix about to tie the series, veteran Spurs forward Robert Horry took a running start and brutally hip-checked Steve Nash straight into the scorer's table. Suns star Amar'e Stoudemire and key reserve Boris Diaw instinctively stepped onto the hardwood floor to defend their captain, citing a strict letter-of-the-law rule against leaving the bench area during an altercation. League disciplinarian Stu Jackson banned both players from a crucial Game 5 back in Phoenix. The shorthanded Suns dropped that game at home, allowing San Antonio to close out the series in Game 6. LeBron's legendary 25-point straight streak. Over in the Eastern Conference Finals, a 22-year-old phenom determined to rewrite his postseason legacy took on the veteran Detroit Pistons. In Game 5 at Auburn Hills, with the series tied 2-2, LeBron James put together the most legendary individual offensive takeover in modern playoff history. Facing a physical Pistons defense, LeBron scored the Cavaliers' final 25 consecutive points and 29 of their last 30 overall, driving through multiple defenders to seal a double overtime win and guide Cleveland to its first ever finals appearance. Bruce Bowen's defensive chokehold. Waiting for the young Cavaliers in the finals were Greg Popovich's San Antonio Spurs. To neutralize the young king, Popovich deployed all-defensive forward Bruce Bowen. Bowen spent the entire series shadowing LeBron, aggressively denying him middle penetration and forcing him into highly inefficient perimeter jump shots, setting a brilliant half-court trap that completely frustrated the young star. Tim Duncan also mentioned guarding LeBron with 5 guys being the strategy deployed, leading San Antonio to their success. Tony Parker's historic Finals MVP. With Cleveland focusing their defensive traps on Tim Duncan, French point guard Tony Parker completely carved up the Cavaliers. Parker used a blazing baseline teardrop floater to average 24.5 points on an absurd 56.8% shooting. His dazzling display earned him the Finals MVP trophy, making him the very first European player in NBA history to win the award. The 2007 Broom. San Antonio's smothering defense completely frustrated LeBron, holding him to just 22 points per game on 35.6% shooting, while forcing him into 23 total turnovers. The Spurs finished off a clinical, low-scoring 4-game sweep on Cleveland's home floor, securing their 4th NBA championship in 9 years. The Hallway Prophecy. Following the Game 4 locker room celebration, Tim Duncan shared a quiet, iconic embrace with the dejected LeBron James in the stadium tunnel. Duncan famously looked at the 22-year-old and told him, "This is going to be your league in a little while, but I appreciate you giving us this year." It was the perfect epilogue to a season where a veteran empire held its ground one more time before the future was able to take over. That was 2007, the year of the We Believe shockwave, a king-in-waiting's arrival, and the night a quiet empire stacked its claim as a permanent basketball dynasty. If you liked this NBA season recap, make sure to subscribe and go check out the rest of our season recaps starting from 1999 and moving all the way to this current NBA season. And with that, Swishless Podcast, we are out.